Hola clase. So today is either going to be miércoles el 14 de septiembre or jueves el 15. So whatever class you have, it's día cinco. And you can always find this document under schedule we will follow. It's in Schoology. So I update it every time we have class, including homework assignments and activities that we're working on. So the first thing is that you do have this tarea. And if you look in Schoology, you'll also see this. It's in your materials in your calendar. It's called Encuesta, Spanish Class Survey. It looks like this. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. And then it should be in the room. There's a paper copy in the room. So if you could pause this video and grab this paper copy, it's called Primer Día de Clase Español. I copied it at the beginning of the year and just never gave it to you yet because we didn't get a chance to fill it out. So it might be right under where my computer is, where the mouse and the keyboard is. Right under there, there's some papers, or it might be in the back on the radiator. So if you could just grab one of these, pause this video, and then come back and I'll just go over it with you. So in this, on this, you just want to basically fill out your information, preferred name and pronouns. Why did you take Spanish? If for some reason you could not find this document, the paper copy in the classroom, you can use the digital copy, which is in Schoology in your calendar. So again, I just clicked on it from here. It's due on Friday, the next time we have class at 11:58. So you can do this assignment in Cami as well if for some reason you weren't able to find it in the classroom. So you want to fill it out for me. Just tell me what you want to do, what you're trying to do in Spanish, what you hope to do. And then also you're going to answer 3 questions in español, ¿cómo eres? And I said, yo soy creativa, excéntrica y divertida. Just try to find some adjectives to describe yourself as a person. And then, ¿cuáles son algunos de tus hobbies or intereses? And you can write them or draw them. I said, me gusta cocinar, patinar, ir al bosque. That was for me. So try to use some verbs in there if you can. Cocinar is to cook, patinar is to skate, and ir al bosque is to go to the woods. And then dime algo interesante de ti in español. Some students copied my answer. Tengo dos hijas. If you tell me tengo dos hijas, you're telling me I have 2 children. So I don't think any of you do at this point. So make sure you tell me something else. Una de 10 años y una de 24. Me gusta patinar. I just said I like skating. Ir al bosque para hacer senderismo. You can tell me me gusta leer. Since you already did a lot of me gusta número dos, try to tell me something else interesting. You could tell me about an animal, like tengo un cerdo de mascota or something like that. Please don't use a translator for these, but you can look up a word using Lingüe. And this is your tarea. So then if we go back to our schedule, it just says here that we're going to do a repaso and then the pruebita. So I would just take about 5 minutes now. You can pause the video. I am going to give you about 4 words in Spanish that you're going to have to write down. So make sure you know your alphabet. So take about 5 minutes, pause this video, and work with a partner and just review the alphabet. Maybe you can even say like, ¿cómo se dice J? Or ¿cómo se dice G? And just the harder letters, especially. And then also remember, I am underlining a few letters for you and you have to explain what the sound is. So if you see a C and it's before an I, that would be like more of like an S sound. So just review some of the more complicated letter sounds like C and G and J and all of those. So take about 5 minutes and then we're going to come back and take that quiz. So you can pause this video and use those 5 minutes. So now you should have the quiz in front of you. Whoever is subbing for me today, thank you so much. The office should have given you a folder with the quizzes, the alfabeto quizzes. And so we're just going to fill, if you could pass those out to the students, it should look just like this on the screen. And then you could pause the video and then we'll fill in the information. So the first thing we have is mi nombre en inglés. And for me, I would just say Miss Coriale or Mrs. Coriale. For you, it's going to be something different. So, ¿cuál es tu nombre en inglés? Mi nombre en español es Señora Coriale. So just tell me tu nombre en español. ¿Cuál es la fecha de hoy? So it's either going to be hoy es el 14. So just write the number de septiembre, or maybe it's el 15. So just write whatever is the date for today. Hoy es el 14 de septiembre, and then usually we put del 2022. And then, ¿cómo estás hoy? So use one of the expressions that I taught you on the wall. You could say something like, estoy cansada, or estoy muy nerviosa, estoy ansiosa, estoy enamorada. And then you can tell me why if you want to. You can say por qué, or you can just leave it like that. Estoy enferma. Yo estoy muy enferma en la casa. So por eso no estoy en la clase. That's why I'm not there. So, but for you, you may be something else. So just tell me how you're doing. Okay, so let's go to the section where I'm going to give you 4 words. So each word is going to be a different number of letters. So if you want to just put like dashes, like the 4 letters. So there's 4 letters in the first one. The next one is going to be 6 letters. Just so you know, there's 6 letters in that word. The next one's going to be 8 letters. And then the last one is just 4 letters again. So we're going to go one by one. So we're going to start with numero uno. I'm going to give you 4 letters. So please stay on number 1 until I say to go to number 2. And you're going to spell out a word. So for numero uno, we have the first letter is ñ, o, ñ, o. So repito, I'll repeat. Ñ, o, ñ, o. That's numero uno. We're going to go to numero dos now. G, U, S, A, N, O. And repito, I'll repeat numero dos. So we're still on numero dos. I'm just going to go through those letters again for you. G, U, S, A, N, O. Now we're going to numero tres, number 3. We have P, R, U, E, B de burro, I, T, A. And repito, I'll repeat número 3. P, R, U, E, B de burro, I, T, A. We'll go to número 4 now. This is just 4 letters. B de vaca, E, L, A. And repito, I'll repeat número 4. B de vaca, E, L, A. So that is the spoken part of the quiz where you needed me. The rest you're going to do on your own. So it just says, describe la letra, describe the sound of the letter that is underlined and bolded. So just tell me in your own words, it could be in Inglés, just describe that letter sound to me. And then for the last section, you're going to contesta las preguntas en español, escribe frases completas. Also, you may choose to use the expressions in the table in your response. So you might use un poco or muy or los dos. So remember, you say soy los dos for like I'm both. A veces, nunca, never, and siempre. So, ¿tienes mascotas? ¿Cuáles son? ¿Cuántos años tienes? So try just to answer those questions with complete sentences. So you can pause this video and just finish taking the quiz. It should take you, I'd say, about less than 10 minutes more to take it. Just let the students take the quiz, and then we'll come back to the video and just finish the class. So for the next part of the class, what we're going to do is, remember you did your expresiones de emergencia. And I'm just going to ask you to do the same thing. So just get out your expresiones de emergencia, take turns being the profe. You may have done this last class, but it's okay. So you're going to have grupos de tres. One person's going to be the profe, and the other two would be students. Ask questions, students, to maybe you say like, puedo abrir la ventana, or puedo ir al baño, and the profe would answer you. So just stay in Spanish, no inglés, por favor. Try to use some of your expressions. Take about 5 minutes to do this. So if you are subbing for me, please just let the students do this for about 5 minutes and just practice their expresiones de emergencia. You could pause this video and then we'll do the last part of class. So for the last part of class, if you can take out your expresiones de emergencia paquete, you should have a packet that you received in class. It's a few pages long, and it had all those expresiones de emergencia. You probably already have it because you were just working on the teacher, profe, and the estudiantes. So we're just going to go through the second part of it, which is learning about the circunlocución. So circunlocución in Espanol, you should have this section. It's in your notes. If for some reason you don't have a paper copy, you can locate this in Expresiones de Emergencia y la Circunlocución right in your Unidad Uno. So when we talk about circunlocución, we're talking about survival Spanish. So maybe you don't always know how to say something, but you can describe it by using circunlocución. So for example, we could say something like, maybe it's an object. So you say, es un objeto. So if you're not sure that that's an object, you can just write object. So es un objeto. Maybe es un objeto suave, soft. Or duro, hard. De plástico. So that would be plastic. Un objeto es un objeto de plástico. Que se usa para reciclar. That's used for recycling. That's used. So I would just note some things down here for recycling. Que se usa con la computadora. Maybe I'm talking about the ratón, or the, which is the mouse, or the teclado. Que se usa con la computadora. So it's used with the computer. Que recibes en el día de tu boda. So on the day of your wedding. So it might be an anillo, which is a ring that you receive on your wedding day. So maybe it's not an objeto, but it's un lugar. So a place. It's a place. So maybe it's a place where they make bread. Donde hacen pan. Donde is where they make bread. Maybe they sell shoes. Venden zapatos. Or juegan los niños. Es un lugar donde juegan los niños. It's a place where children play. Like the patio de recreo, which is the playground. Es un lugar donde. So this donde goes with all of them. Donde sacas dinero, where you take out money. You take out money. Or maybe donde viven muchas personas. Maybe you're talking about la ciudad. Es un lugar donde viven muchas personas. Or maybe es un lugar donde viven pocas personas, a little bit of people. So then we have es algo. It's something. Es algo divertido, something fun. Or algo difícil de hacer, something hard to do. Or que te pica, that bites you or stings you. Maybe it's not un lugar or un objeto. Maybe it's una persona. So es una persona viva, alive. Maybe you're trying to describe somebody. Es una persona muerta, someone who's dead. Es una persona cómica, someone funny. Maybe es una persona que trabaja en Narden, that works at Narden, un restaurante. Maybe it's a mesero, which is the waiter. Es una persona que enseña, that teaches. Maybe you're talking about a profesora. Es una persona que diseña, that designs. So again, we might be talking about a diseñador or a designer. So maybe it's not a persona, but it's an acción. Es una acción que normalmente te gusta hacer los sábados. On Saturdays, you like to do. Maybe es que se hace en la casa. It's done at home. Maybe you want to talk about what it's used for. So se usa para. Se usa para cargar las baterías in order to charge batteries. Like maybe you're talking about a cargador, like a charger. Se usa para cargar baterías. Se usa para escuchar música. Maybe you're talking about the radio, the radio. Se usa para poner flores in order to put flowers. Se usa para el frío en el invierno. So maybe it's a abrigo, like a jacket. Se usa para limpiar la casa. It's used to clean the house. Or maybe se usa para las alfombras, for rugs. So maybe you want to give me examples. You can say, unos ejemplos son lápices, bolígrafos, reglas, calculadoras, manzanas. Maybe you're talking about frutas. So you're like, oh, some examples are piñas, are pineapples, and toronja. Maybe they're frutas acídicas, right? Con mucho ácido. So this would be a grapefruit, toronja. You don't have to really know all these words. It's just I'm trying to give you some examples of how you could use circumlocution. Es un sinónimo, so it's similar to. So it's like it's the same as. Es un sinónimo de comenzar. Maybe it's empezar. So, or es un sinónimo de despacio, slow. Es un sinónimo de ordenador, which is the word for computer in España. So you could say es un sinónimo de ordenador, and maybe you say computadora. Or maybe you say es similar a. Es un antónimo, which is the opposite of. Es el opuesto de. So maybe you say es el opuesto de delicioso. Maybe it's asqueroso, disgusting. Or es el opuesto de bajar, to go down. Maybe it's subir. And then we have comida. Es una comida popular en Día de Gracias, which is Thanksgiving. El pavo es una comida picante, spicy. Or es una comida que se come en Navidad, como jamón, por ejemplo. En los cumpleaños, like el bizcocho or la torta, cake, so es una comida que se come en el cumpleaños. Es un tipo de, it's a type of insecto, maybe. It's a type of insect. Transporte, transportation. Animal salvaje, which is a wild animal. Viven en, where does he live? So maybe vive en el bosque, in the forest, the tropical forest. Or maybe in el desierto, the desert. Not the dessert, but the desert. La jungla, the jungle. Or maybe el mar, the sea. So basically, you can describe animals by saying where they live, too. So the last section that you have in your packet is animals. So you have people, you have places, you have animals, you have 4 different categories. So at this moment, try your best to go through and do you know more Spanish words for those? So I filled in a lot of them for you. You should have 4 categories: people, places, foods, I think you have there. So you're going to have 4 different lists. Try to look up. So for the rest of the time you have in class right now, just look up those words if you have extra time. If not, we'll do it the next class. But if there's extra time now, just fill in the Spanish for the words that are not there. You might know a lot of those nouns already. So my goal is for you to be able to describe those nouns without using the word, because you might not know how to say gusano, which is worm. So you're going to have to describe what a gusano is. So the next time I see you, we're going to practice a little bit more, but try to fill out as many of those nouns as you can before you come back to class. Okay, muchas gracias, estudiantes. Adiós.